Hey, it's the Trigger, Rich Bond Trigger. Welcome back for another 2 p.m. with Trigger Live. We're back on a Monday. Hope you had a great Veterans Weekend, got out, had some fun. It's always great to be back to do another week, to do these short little drop-ins, to give you insights, tips, and tricks. Again, my passion is to help you shine on camera, help you shine on stage, so you can elevate your brand authority, to help you get seen and heard by more people, so you can raise your financial state. You can grow your tribe any way you want to and get on more and more platforms and meet more amazing people along the way. That's what a lot of the fun is of being out there speaking, traveling, doing a lot of things. Recently, I was in Miami, Florida. Got to go down to meet Corey Pori, a friend of mine who runs Blue Talks. It's kind of a TED Talk thing, but it's a Blue Talk thing. And Corey was able to have a great time on there. And who did I get to meet but Emily Harrison? She's a visionary. She's a dreamer. She's a great, fun-loving gal. And welcome, Emily, to 2 o'clock with Trigger.
Trigger, thank you for having me here. I'm so excited to be with you again on stage and to get to meet your audience and to bring my audience in to meet you. So I learned so much from your talk in Miami. I traveled with my executive assistant, and she and I were both taking copious notes, and we were looking at each other and nodding like this. We learned so much from you. So thank you for sharing your genius with us.
Well, she was taking notes on everybody. Let's be honest. She was like drinking from a fire hose for 48 hours. So hopefully she can read her notes after all that, because she was back there just scribbling like a crazy person. But no, it was great to be down there and just, first of all, be back on stage, right?
Yes. COVID caused us all to adapt and to come on more online stages. But now that the gates of travel and connection are opening back up again and we get to get in person with each other, it feels good. It feels like connecting with a long lost family, even though it was the first time we'd actually ever met in this lifetime. Anyway.
No, but that's what made it really fun, is that this particular group, I don't know about the other Blue Talks. I'm sure with the way Corey sets it up, that the people do get a quick connection. You kind of get to know each other and you jump in like your long lost friends. And
Definitely.
That's part of the magic of being in this industry, of speaking, of leadership, entrepreneurship. People really are not in competition. They're really in collaboration. Once you say hi, hello, then collaboration kicks in, right?
Well, yeah. And I love that you broke down those two concepts from moving from competition into collaboration, because for those of you who I'm meeting for the first time, I am self-proclaimed full woo, which means my area of expertise is in the quantum field and the Akashic records. And I train visionaries and thought leaders how to shift their consciousness into super conscious intelligence so that they can get extraordinary ideas. We know that thoughts are the beginning of everything that is created here on this planet. And for those of you who are into the quantum woo and you've heard of this evolutionary shift that's happening on our planet as we're going from 3D into 5D, or as our consciousness is raising, one of the main paradigm shifts that we will experience is moving from a society that competes into a society that collaborates. So if you didn't consider yourself full woo yet, Trigger, my friend, today I crown you full woo.
Full woo. Yeah,
Yes.
I've always been a woo dreamer, visionary. So it was easy for me, but we had several woo people down there at Blue Talks, and it was interesting because you all had different slices and different views, but again, there was no competition. You guys all played in the same sandbox all weekend long.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? The chills move through my body as you're saying that. Yep. Definitely all playing in the sandbox, building sandcastles together.
So collaboration is a big part of everyone's success. And it was fun because I think I was the first one to do it live down there, and everyone caught me doing the live and like, oh, he's a genius. Wow. Why aren't we doing that? And then people started to jump on camera. We started to photo bomb each other. And now, as I'm going to share screen here, this is where the real power is, everybody. You need to realize this is on Emily's Facebook. She did it just a little while ago, but Emily did a great job of elevating not herself, but everyone else. So talk us through this, Emily. What went through your head when you quickly put this together and put it out there for the universe on Facebook?
Well, every time anytime I travel, and I'm actually going to start doing this on a day-to-day basis, not just traveling in special occasions, but I come up with a top 3. What were my top 3 memories of the day? And on this day, when we were all playing on stage with those letters, the Blue Talk branded letters, and I happened to say, let's get innovative with the letters. Let's reinvent and have fun. And when you turned that B into a trigger, into a gun, I thought, oh my gosh, this is perfect. Somebody snapped that picture, and I set an intention once I got that. I said, I want to use this for something really fun. And I wasn't really sure how I was going to use it until you invited me on, and I thought, ooh, I'm going to save it and I'm going to use it to talk about our live as we're going live. But that was definitely one of my top memories of that day, of us being on stage together, being playful, allowing ourselves to be fully expressed in who we were. And I thought, oh my gosh, how perfect that you, again, turned the B into, it's a water gun, people, because Trigger is very peaceful. He's a peaceful man. His water gun, or his gun of consciousness, his gun of good tips, right? And then the Hollywood in me came out, and I was like, I don't know how many of you all, I see a couple of my followers in the house here today, Cindy.
Oh,
and Jim.
yeah.
It's awesome. So if you know anything about my past in Hollywood, I was on CSI New York, and I did my own stunts, and I got shot. And I am really proud of my ability to get shot on camera and stage. So I had to recreate that as you were pulling out that water gun and you were shooting me. And so I went into my getting shot. And I love that we all, and I want to give props to Corey too, for creating an environment that invites self-expression and invites us to be comfortable and silly in all parts of ourselves, that we can just show up and allow our freak flags to fly.
Well, and again, there's several different variations of that. She started off kind of mellow, then she went to full, like she is on that shot, and then she's halfway falling down. But and no one planned it. It was all just the spontaneous, the fun, the laughter, and then several of us have already shared the same story and put it on social media. It's not about Emily. It's not about me, and it's really about just, we're going to elevate and celebrate everybody. And that's one of the values that I have, is that through the media, through us being on stage, microphone, video, interview shows, we should be celebrating each other's success. Yeah. I mean, if Emily gets an award, if she gets another speaking gig and she's going to put it out there, don't just give a little emoji. Go give a little heartfelt, hey, how's it rocking? What's all going on? Give her actual feedback, and she will do the same thing, and it gets a snowball going. People get more traction when you celebrate more people and more activity. But too many people, Emily, I think, are just focused on themselves, and they just want to celebrate themselves. So what's good about celebrating yourself if you don't celebrate other people?
Yes. And I mean, I think there's a natural evolution as more and more of us are coming out as experts and beginning to share what we're curious about, what we love, what has helped us in life. And there's a human behind that experience that sometimes we feel inadequate, and so we overcompensate by talking too much about ourselves. We're moving through that phase. Congratulations, everybody. We're moving through the phase where we're getting grounded, we're getting more comfortable in who we are, and it feels more natural. It feels easy to celebrate other people. And what I've noticed is I still battle with that sometimes, of getting too much in my own head. Then I judge myself. But I feel like if I notice that that's coming up and I'm second guessing myself, I need to just get my attention off of myself and celebrate somebody else. Put my attention in a different place. And so if you notice that this is happening for you, if you are coming out as a thought leader, you're starting your own business, perhaps you have a message that you want to share from stage, and you notice that you're in your head about yourself and you're second guessing yourself and you've got all this self-worth stuff coming up, simply put your attention on other people. It can really begin to create culture within your community, within your tribe, of uplifting one another. And anything that we can do to raise our vibrational frequency is going to help us feel better. It's going to make us more magnetic, and it's going to make it easier for you to choose joy. I mean, joy is really a choice that we get to choose every single day. And it's going to make it easier for you if you uplift others.
Well, and it's so easy because we were sharing cameras. Half the time I didn't have my camera. We're all trading and swapping cameras, and we're all taking each other's pictures, but we're also taking with our camera pictures of you as well. So all of us have multiple variation from different angles of other speakers, not just ourselves. I've got a whole collection of Emily and other people that were there. And as you do put them out, again, do the little write-up, mention the Blue Talks, give a hashtag, give a, the @ symbol, mention Corey Poirier, go and mention Emily, who's also in the photo with you or rocking the stage by herself. Make sure you do this and be very intentional about it. Because I probably took well over 100 plus pictures that weekend, and 80 of them have other people's faces, not even my own.
Mm-hmm.
And the FOMO that they get and the good feeling that you pass on by recognizing them and their genius, highlighting their website, talking about what they do, it's a natural celebration that everyone's going to roll and have fun with. And it's so darn easy, but we just don't take the time to do it.
You have the best tips that are all so easy. And I love that we get to highlight and talk about the simplicity of celebrating others today. But again, Kathy and I did, my assistant, we took just copious notes on all of the amazing tips that you gave. So if you are from my camp and you're coming over to hang out with Rich and I here today, make sure that you follow him, because you will learn more in 5 minutes of watching this man's feed than, I don't know where. I was going to say anywhere else, but maybe not anywhere else. But definitely for speaking and for really practical tips that have methodology behind it, meaning that there's great psychology behind what you say, and the tips are easily repeatable. They're easy to remember and to do. You blew my mind. And I spent 20 years in Hollywood and being comfortable being in front of camera, but you have the goods, my friend.
Well, okay, but let's let everyone know there's a difference between being Hollywood camera and live speaking stage. People do not realize how many cuts, takes, repurpose different camera angles, and you stay basically in the same spot. And they do it in small segments over and over again. You may do a long read once, but you don't do the long read over and over again. It's very truncated and cut up. On stage, you go for it.
Yeah. And here's another difference is in Hollywood, I'm a puppet to somebody else's lines, to the writer, to the director. It's not me and my story and my genius. Yes, I'm putting my spin on it and I'm allowing that character to illuminate through my physicality and my emotionality. But when we're on stage and we're speaking, it's coming from the heart and it's coming from the guts. And it feels like there's more on the line when we show up and we're sharing our own story or our own passion or our own message. And again, the tips that you gave are some of my favorite ever.
What was your biggest takeaway without your notebook? Was there anything that really grabbed you, honestly?
Yeah, there was something that I did and you gave me props for doing.
Yes.
And I didn't even realize how important it was or how effective it was until you pointed it out. And then now I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that often. What the tip was is when you're being interviewed and the interviewer asks you a question, repeat the question, because that gives you time to think about the question and allow a true heartfelt response to drop in. And it was that, I would say, paired with a piece of advice that the speaker invited us to slow down. When you purposefully slow down, you begin to use your brain differently. And I thought, when I learned to really slow down the question as I'm asking the question again, it allows divine intelligence to drop in.
Well, and everything you said is perfect, dead on. The other thing it does for you, which is so key on the second half of my talk about repurposing all your content, it's not a one-off. You repurpose and cut it up and edit it. But when you do that, rephrase the question that the host first gave you. You are creating a sound edit point that the editor will pick up on and say, they're rephrasing the question. Now they're going to cut out the host. Forget about them. And then you have a great clean post for you to give a nice, good sound bite that can be used and used again.
Yep.
So it's an editing tool, a self-promotion tool, is a clarity tool like you were talking about, Emily, that you can clear your mind, take that breath, instead of just blurting somebody out and saying, I have no idea what the question was. It also allows you to hear the question one more time.
Yes.
Because we're always thinking what's coming next, what's coming next. And it allows you to reframe it in your head and say, I know what's next. I'm going to talk and I'm going to give a good answer.
Oh, I have one more.
Okay, go for it.
It was when you told us that once the interview is over and the interviewer has said, thank you, Emily, for being here. And it's like, and scene, and we close the scene, right? Don't keep talking. Like, shut your mouth. And I found this to be helpful, not only for being interviewed, which I don't know that I always do that. I'm going to consciously practice today. So you guys can watch me. You can tell me how well I do. But you know where else I found it to be really important? It made like a synchronistic click with me, was as an entrepreneur, we wear many different hats. So there's content creation. There is the entertainment aspect of how we are sharing the content and bringing people in. There's sales and marketing. And when I'm in an enrollment call with a potential client and the client has said yes, let it be done there. Because sometimes I notice I keep talking at that point and I'm like, dude, you're going to talk yourself right out of the sale or this client enrolling with you and getting this sacred transformation that you're offering because you won't shut your mouth. Emily.
You and I talked on that on lunch because it went to ha for you and you took that next level right there. It's so true. When you're working on marketing, on sales, when you're working with somebody and they say yes, close the deal. Thank them, be gentle, wrap it up, get the emails. But if you keep saying, well, let me tell you about one more feature, you can unravel a closed sale. Well, there's this extra bonus. Tell them about the bonus after you get the money and you got the deal done, or surprise them with the bonus. If they've landed the plane for you, get off the plane and close the cargo doors and walk away. Same thing with those interview shows and again, this is one of my pet peeves. I've done thousands of interviews, is that people do that one final, thank you, everybody, or hey, everyone reach out. And you've already wrapped up. You've already announced who they are. You've already announced how to find them on social. You've already announced what their program is. And you've done it as the host. And they have to say one more thing. Let them shine on you at the end and just smile. That's all you got to do at the end of any interview is smile, let them wrap it up, and you have crushed the interview. You're already leaps and bounds of more people than you can imagine with that one little tip right there.
Yes.
So Emily, how can people get in touch with you? How can people find you and learn more about you?
Well, you can go to the akashicacademy.com, find everything you need to find on our website. But if you're like me and you like personal reach out, send me a DM, send me a private message. I have a presence on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on Instagram. I just recommend you reach out personally and say hi. Let me know that you saw me on this show so that I can put the neural pathways together of where you came into my field. And let's start a real conversation, that real human conversation.
Emily Harrison. And again, what's your specialty? What do you do exactly?
My area of expertise, Rich, is in the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records are a realm of consciousness where every detail of our past, our present, and all possible futures, because the future exists in infinite possibility, is recorded from the perspective of unconditional love and zero judgment. So it's a giant etheric library of every detail about your soul, about your business, about life here on this planet, about life off of this planet. And it works by asking questions. So we ask the questions that we want to download. And then through your super conscious intelligence and your imagination, which your imagination is not made up, by the way, you can download intelligence. So I train other visionaries and thought leaders how to tap into this space and ask the questions that are going to make the differences in helping them shift their health if they have health crises, whether it's emotional, physical, whether it's a health crisis of your business. We can tap in and get the information on why this is happening and what we need to shift, which healing is always a great thing. I think we have to bring ourselves into a state of health and wholeness first. That's really a big deal for humanity right now because we've lost the ability to self-heal. But Rich, my absolute favorite way to use the Akashic Records is once we've gone through that healing process, is tapping into creative genius and unleashing our creative genius so that we can innovate technology, medicine, paradigms and ways of being here. Like we talked about, giving up competition in favor of collaboration. There are new mechanisms and ways that we get to build society together. And that's my favorite way to use the Akashic Records.
That's the amazing, the one and only Emily Harrison. And again, best way to find you. What's the best way to find you?
Send me a DM.
All right. There's only one of her out there. And so, hey, everyone, someday we're going to get Emily to come on appear on How to Rock the Stage show. How to Rock the Stage is every Wednesday night live. We stream it. It's a live audience, great, amazing guests, like when we get Emily on. Coming up this week, we are going to be talking about how to recession-proof your content. People are afraid of the money, the recession, the slowdown, the business, all this stuff. We're going to help you figure out how to recession-proof your content. We're going to go over to Europe, and Carlton's going to join me, and we're going to have a great conversation about how he's helping people plan now, have great content, go forward, so get the lead, the followers, the finances, all the things you need, and not be afraid of that horrible recession thing coming around the corner that people keep talking about. It'll be 7 o'clock Eastern time live. And again, go to LinkedIn, Facebook. You'll find that link and that post to come and get involved. If you ever want to learn more about me, as we mentioned earlier, Rich at richbontrager.net or rockthestagemedia.com. And we will be back, or I will be back tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern for another 2 p.m. with Trigger. And you never know who's going to drop in. You never, ever know. So thanks for the amazing new people that dropped in today. I was seeing the hellos, the highs, the loves. Appreciate that, everybody. And Emily, any final words before I take away your last word?
No, I said, are you kidding me? I'm doing my best to keep my mouth shut here so that I can nail this last part.
Emily Harrison, thank you very much for dropping in today. And I'm the Trigger, Rich Bontrager. We will see you tomorrow, 2 p.m. with the Trigger live.